Alrighty. Why did I fucking start it off like that? Now I sound like fucking Brozine. Uh, so, uh, Sevagoth was recently handed out to a bunch of players for free. A lot of YouTubers are making some videos. There's a little bit of misinformation going around, and a lot of these YouTubers are just kind of slapping builds together without really understanding what the frame is actually doing, or they don't understand the frame completely. Aznvasions in particular has been probably the best one so far that I have personally seen put out builds. I've seen some other things. I know Sevagoth is not widely considered a great frame. I love this frame though. I've put 24 men into him. I very heavily debated putting 3 Umbra Forma into him. I've only done 1, but when the Prime comes out, I'm definitely doing all 3. The big important thing is that a lot of people seem to really not get is all of Sevagoth's abilities charge his death well. It is not just so. Please, for the love of God. That is the biggest thing that I could probably get across. So is easily his worst ability. It is not only there to build death well. You can get rid of it. You can put something else on it. I put silence over it. We'll get to that though. So, like I said, we put silence over so, and we do have 2 builds here. This is a health tank build. We're using the Shadow Haze Augment for Reap. And the shield getting build is basically the same thing. The big difference is instead of Streamline, we're running Equilibrium because you want the higher energy cost for Brief Respite. And then if you don't have Primed Redirection, you are completely open to running Catalyzing Shields. You will get most of your shield back in a single Reap cast between Brief Respite and Auto Reach. I just personally prefer Primed Redirection because most of the time I can get a little bit more immune time between Redirection and Rolling Guard. It's personal preference though. Energize and Augmented. You basically need Energize. This frame is insanely energy hungry. Don't even try to. I shouldn't say don't try. You can definitely make it work, but you've got to make compromises if you don't have an Energize. Oh man. I do have 5 shards on him, 3 red Tau Forge. These 2 yellows are just for casting speed, and then we've got 1 ability duration Tau Forge, and then 2 Tau Forge strength shards. I have not played around with the new shards on him at all. None of them have really piqued my interest with him, except for like the crit damage one, maybe being like a drop of shard, one of the strength shards for the crit damage shard. The way that we're going to be hitting our 90% slow on Gloom, because as you see it's only at 64% right now, is we're going to be using our Parazon, because everyone seems to forget about this thing. Power Drain, you get 50% ability strength. Your Gloom's going to snapshot that. It'll stay at 90 after you activate it. We also have Blood for Energy here to kind of more forcefully proc Energize if we're getting like bad energy orb drops. And then Swift Mercy just because these things, Mercy finishers take forever. Alternatively, you could use Sling Strength on Madurai. I'm personally not a big fan of this comparatively to the Parazon because I like to sometimes run Naramon or Unairu and not Madurai. But it's a personal preference thing there. The other big thing is that because the claws inherit what type of melee you're using, a lot of people don't think about this. You can use your operator arcane slot to give you Magus Aggress, which increases your melee critical damage after melee transference. And for reference on what that is, you just go into your operator, and then you just melee out of your operator. Instead of going back into your frame, you just hit melee. And that'll give you Magus Aggress here. Max rank Magus Aggress is 300% crit damage. It's not a small number. The Shadow, we're using Swift Momentum for the aura. You could run Steel Charge if you're weird, I guess. I don't know. Arcane Fury, Arcane Strike, those are important. He's kind of slow. He needs the melee damage. The purpose of an Umbra Forma here would be to max out Rolling Guard and Transient Fortitude. Alternatively, the other way you could build this, which I just didn't because I didn't care to, I wanted the number on Death's Harvest to be bigger, so I used Transient Fortitude here. But if you really wanted to, I'd suggest putting on like Augur Reach here as well, or even like Overextended, because your strength on the Shadow does not affect your claws damage. It only affects your abilities here, these three. So if you don't find yourself using Death's Harvest at all, and you really just only want to use Embrace to group things up, you could totally run Overextended. But this is all personal preference, kind of. If you want more strength for Death's Harvest, or if you want more range for Embrace. You need, preparation is a must on the Shadow, otherwise you basically spawn in with no fucking energy ever. And every time you change into the Shadow, the preparation activates. So the other thing that I forgot to include is that it uses your arcane slot from your melee. We're using Influence. I don't have it max rank because I just haven't gotten the time yet. And we're using Influence with the Shadow Claws here, which is why we have a Voltaic Strike. The Gladiator mods are here to give us a kind of like pseudo Blood Rush stacking thing. And you would want a Umbral Forma here, so you could put Sacrificial Steel instead of True Steel, because that's more crit chance. I think it brings it up to 121 at crit chance. Dreamer's Wrath, or all the Tennokai mods, they do work here. I've seen a lot of people saying that the Tennokai mods don't work on Exalted weapons, or even specifically they don't work on Shadow Claws. That's not true. They do still work on Shadow Claws. It's 100% worth doing. If you can warrant spending 8 Forma on a claw weapon for an exalted claw weapon frame. But the other thing that we're also doing here is we've got a Arc Coil Manifold Bond Dirigo. He's also got Synth Deconstruct and Mystic Bond on, and Momentous Bond just to help recover the companion faster from Maximus. But the big thing here is Manifold Arc Coil. All this other stuff is kind of just like whatever you want to do. I don't know why I'm using Metal Fiber. I'm gonna be honest, I just noticed that. Honestly, like maybe for that there or something, I don't know. But the big important thing here is usually I run like gas, radiation, electric to really spread statuses and prime, and then I'll prime with like an actual like primer weapon to get viral. But I can't do that when I'm in Sevagoth Shadow, so I have this mod config here to hopefully have my Diriga spread some viral for me while I'm in Shadow, because the Sentinels do follow you around while you're in Shadow. So I'm just gonna spawn some butchers here so I can build up my best level real quick. And then the main thing here, I'll show. The Shadowhair's augment for the 1, it's gonna make all of your weapons crit. You should mod all of them for crit damage. It's insanely good once you get like max augmented stacks running and everything like that. It's great. But just gotta show Dirga follows you around. And these are steel path in the simulacrum, and I hate seeing the warriors, but like, it's kind of, it was on a slash that day, these do hit really hard. You could definitely build for a heavy attack build. And like very reasonably hit crits into the millions with yeah, quite frankly, don't need it too much. Another thing that you could also consider here is the 3 does also affect your crit from the augment. But yeah, so there's I don't want to, I'm not trying to like crash on any of the other creators, but Sevagoth is a little misunderstood and people are uninformed on him. I don't think he's as bad as people think he is, but he's definitely really, really steep investment wise. I would really like to see his prime get a lot more polarities on some stuff to kind of cut down on that forma cost, because it is kind of yikes. But I'm just gonna queue into a Mott survival solo here and just kind of show off the build a bit. I'll probably only do 1 acolyte, but we shall see.
Your enemies have grown fierce. Use all that you have learned.
Life support has been cut off. They're trying to choke you out. Hold on. I'm sending auxiliary life support. Prepare for life support. Delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time. Support has arrived.
I do want to say, I might kind of cut in here, this is a terrible spot to be picking to do a survival. The kills are not going to be very high yet. It's because of how Gloom ignoring wall and also Silence ignoring walls, and then just doing just a terrible spot for that to be a thing. Just really slowing down damage flow. I would not normally do a survival here, but I'm only going for one macro anyways, so
The operative has
I'm
just made their first
mostly
discovery.
indifferent about it.
Keep up the good work.
I'd look for a better spot if I wasn't trying to showcase something, but
They come to this place
it's
when they know they are not secure.
I'm specifically trying to show how the build works here, so
We're running out of time. Consider extraction.
then do you mind okay, I guess not. Whatever.
It is time.
Those war.
I will teach these trespassers the rhythm.
Tenno kind of answers with this. I'm very glad that they allowed Tenno kind of for this. But life support's ass juice here, and I've shown that I love the show, so.
Extraction is ready.
I feel like this is kind of a bad demonstration because my KPM in this is pretty low. I do think if I was in a better, like, tile space than that, it would have performed much better.
They fought well.
Well, I couldn't say
but
think, I know it
deaths
would,
fall.
but... Yeah, that's basically it. If you really want the stats, there's 400 kills, 6 minutes. I did spend most of the first minute like running away and then waiting for stuff to catch up to where I was. So, but yeah, I don't know. Sevagoth is fine. People just need to do a little more research before they spread misinformation about some stuff. That's my main complaint. I just really wanted to clear that up, but this is my build too, so hope it was enough.